dissolving my KOH, my potassium hydroxide, into my warm glycerin. I have it on the stove here. I decided that I'm going to, how I've been doing it actually, is mixing it all in at the beginning and then heating it slowly together. That was a tip my friend April gave me back when I very first started making liquid soap. She said, hey, don't do it like that, you're terrifying me. Mix it in first and let it heat up slowly. So here we are, letting it dissolve. Alright, I've got my lye fully dissolved into my glycerin. Ooh, it's a heavy pot. I'm going to try to... Boom, there it is. We're going to add it to my oils nice and slow here. It's going to be a very, very full crock pot. Oh yeah, very full. This is a triple batch, at least triple what my normal batch is. Okay, that is in. Let's see if we can get it to trace here in a couple of seconds. It usually does not take long with the glycerin method. Let's zip it up here. Okay, here we go. I don't know if you guys can see when I'm blending it what's underneath, what's already coming to trace. It kind of has the oil floating on top. Let me see if that's visible for you. Let me zip it again. Oops, see? Look at that chunky trace. Alright, let me just keep blending here. Trying to get it blended without it overflowing and splashing up at me. Definitely a big batch. Definitely my biggest batch. Should use my bigger crock pot. Look, all that traced stuff that was white and opaque, it's already loosened up into nice gelatinous soap paste. I still have blending to do though. There's still oils that need to be incorporated. What a big pot of soap paste. Well, it's pretty well blended, as you can see. There's no applesauce phase. It goes from a couple seconds of being thick and opaque-like to, oh, this beautiful amber ribbons that are just so gelatinous looking. Oh, it's beautiful. I love the glycerin method. I'm gonna kind of just, yeah, this is gonna cook for a little while. I really kind of use a set it and forget it kind of method with my soap paste. A, because I don't have time to sit here and watch it all day, and B, it kind of just does its own thing. It's gonna cook, and I'm gonna let it probably be in here for a couple of hours cooking. And then what I'm gonna do, separate some. I'm gonna leave some as paste. See, if anybody who wants to make their own liquid glycerin soap but doesn't want to deal with making the paste, I'm going to make the soap paste available that you can just dilute it yourself, add your essential oils or fragrance or whatever you want to do to it. It'll be easier to ship it that way too, instead of like a giant gallon of soap. It's going to be way heavier, but I'll probably have some gallons available as well. We'll see. Not sure on the sizes yet, but yeah, look at this beautiful soap paste already. This is God, probably, there's 6 pounds of oil. So, altogether, probably at least 9 pounds of paste. This will make a lot of glycerin soap. Alright, I'm gonna let it cook, and I'll check back in with you guys in a bit. I know my heat kicked on, so the sound's gonna suck, but I just want to pop in for just a second. It was such a big batch that the top layer on my crock pot wasn't getting enough heat, and it was solidifying like this. It will stay liquid when it's warm. It still needs to cook. I mean, it looks good, but it needs to cook some more. So I had to slap it into my giant crock pot, and it's in these big fat chunks. I'm really hoping that once I slap the lid on this and let it heat up again, that it's gonna become a little bit more fluid and cook a little bit longer, because it's not ready to solidify yet. So alright, I'm gonna let it cook some more. It's still only been like 15-20 minutes, so let it cook and come back in a bit. So, totally crazy. It looks a little bit more translucent than when I was down here before checking in with you guys. I just had the lid on. I have this. This is technically a turkey roaster, and it gets real hot. This thing will get real hot if I want it to, but I have it on low, like the keep warm setting just above that. So it's like 150 is what it's set on. And it's been maybe an hour, maybe 45 minutes, not that long. It's fully saponified already. And that's why it's all clear and good to go. I'm licking the crap out of it. It's not zapping my tongue at all. I always use my tongue as the test. For one, I'm not trying to spend money on something I can do for free. I know those strips are great. If you don't trust your own tongue, like, go for it, but it's pretty obvious when you lick the soap and it is not saponified. It's very obvious. So I trust my tongue, and this is soap. This is perfectly cooked. A big ton of glycerin Castile soap paste. So I'm gonna measure out some tubs of this to have to sell, and then I'm gonna dilute the rest. When I dilute, I do a 50-50 glycerin and distilled water dilution. Ooh, I end up doing like a 3-to-1. I like it to be a little bit thicker. One thing that people are generally not used to with real liquid soap is that it is going to be thin. The castor oil, coconut, and olive paste that I make for scrubbing and cleaning, and that's what my scouring paste is made out of, I can dilute that 1-to-1, which is unheard of, really. I try to sell it really concentrated so people can like dilute it as much as they want. Anyways, that's like the consistency of water, which is crazy to me. So liquid soap is generally really thin, but when you dilute it with glycerin, which is on its own at room temperature quite thick and syrupy, you end up with a thick, more syrupy kind of soap. And it's very hydrating, but it's also kind of expensive to do full glycerin. That's why I like to do half and half, because I think it's still a nice thick texture, but it's also kind of, helping spread it out just a little bit. So I do a 3-to-1 dilution. So yep, let me go ahead and scoop some of these chunks out to set aside, and then I'll dilute the rest and check back in with you guys in a bit. Quick little check-in. It has been 3 hours since I started diluting it. There's still some hunks kind of stuck to the bottom of the crock pot, but I'm not trying to slosh it around too much. But as you can see, still a lot of big chunks. It is going to take a long time. I'm probably going to end up turning it off when I go to bed tonight, and just obviously keeping it in here. It'll have some residual heat, but I don't want to run the electricity on it all night. And then I'll turn it on in the morning and just, let it take as long as it takes. I do end up, there will be probably a point where I have to add water to it, because some water is evaporating. As you can see, the steam kind of coming off of it. I don't add more glycerin, because, correct me if I'm wrong, I don't think glycerin evaporates. I think it draws moisture to it, so I don't feel the need to replace any glycerin, but I will add more water, and I just kind of eyeball it at that point. I don't measure because the amount that evaporates every time is different, so I kind of just eyeball it, and you know, it'll work out in the end. So yeah, there it is. Probably won't check in until tomorrow, and we'll see where we're at then. Alrighty. Hey there everybody, it's morning now. As you can see, just a few small chunks left in this beautiful crock of liquid Castile soap. Just turned the crock pot back on, had it off overnight just for safety reasons. But as you can see, it still does dissolve a little bit, even when it's not hot, and there's, you know, residual warmth and stuff. But gotta finish her off today. The one reason I really like this lid compared to my other crock pot is that it has little steam holes in it, and this one is like, it's called the self-basting lid. So all of the steam that comes up goes right back into the pot, and I don't think I'm going to have to add any more liquid, which is nice. My other crock pot I totally do because steam gets out. Alright, there she is. I will check in at the very, very end to let you know how much I yielded. I had to take 3.5 pounds out to keep as paste, but we'll see how much the rest ends up yielding in the end. Alright, check in then. Alright guys, it's finally all done. It's still nice and hot, but I need to clean up my area, so I went ahead and bottled it. The lid's only on now so I don't spill it as I'm showing it to you. I know this is not the most wonderful lighting, but it's a nice clear amber color. Here's this in a little cup. There's always a few chunks that remain. I don't know if I'm just impatient or what, but there's always like those few bits of paste that don't ever seem to dissolve, and I guess I'm just impatient. I don't want to wait for those last chunks to dissolve. I always save those and they go in the next batch. It's kind of like my sourdough starter of soap, I guess. I don't know. But I find that I always end up doing that. I did get 3 gallons. I'm not sure if I said that. I save all of my olive oil bottles for this purpose, to put soap back into them, because it's the same olive oil I used to make the soap. Why chuck all these bottles out? I've got probably 2 huge boxes of bottles, at least 30 of them, so I'm going to reuse them now that I'm really ramping up on my liquid soap. So these are recycled bottles, but they're cleaned out, and the only thing that was in there before was olive oil, so I don't think that to be a huge deal. These are for sale on my Etsy site now. The gallon is $55 with free shipping. You can add fragrance oil for $5, or you could add essential oils to the gallon for $10. Free shipping on that. If you want to get the paste, I've got some 8-ounce tubs of paste. I don't have the tub here, but it's, you know, to dilute your own, that's $10 for 8 ounces, and that turns into 32 ounces of soap. You cannot get a 32-ounce bottle of Dr. Bronner's for under $10, so it's a pretty good deal. And instructions come with it as well. So yeah, there's my liquid soap. And if you want to make your own liquid soap from scratch and you have questions, ask me. I always try to help however I can, so hopefully I can help you out if you want to start your own but you're a little scared. So yeah, thanks for watching guys. Have a great one. Bye!